Hey, Crystal Maiden here, doing post-commentary over one of my favorite 2D Sonic games, Sonic 4 Episode 2. Minor nitpick here, I hate how long it takes to go from the Sega logo to the very first level, or whatever. Like, especially when you're starting up the game a lot, it can take a long time to get through the Sega logo to especially since Sonic and Tails pop out of the title screen circle so slowly. And it honestly feels weird. It's like, to the point where I'm mashing buttons and I hear a ring sound for some reason. It's pretty neat that they have these little Sonic 3 and Knuckles-like cutscenes. I don't think they had much of those in Episode 1. The reason I'm not showing off Episode Metal yet is because for some reason you have to beat Act 1 in order to play it. For some reason the cutscenes don't actually show up when you're in co-op, which is really weird. But yeah, right away you can tell, well, as soon as you roll down a slope like this, right away you can tell that the physics have been slightly improved. Like, I don't think they're just using the Rush engine anymore. I think they're using, if not the Generations 3DS engine, then something close to it. Because basically what you do is, like, you can roll into a ball and go down a slope, and you'll increase your momentum. Although the momentum is not nearly as good as it is in the classic games, and you really are better off just running instead. Or doing a certain move that you'll get later that is broken as hell. The main gimmick of this game is the partner system. Now, the flight controls are kind of weird, which is why I'm following here. You need to press the A button. Well, I say weird in that, well, it's like the classic Sonic games in that you press A a lot, but here's why a lot of people have trouble with the flight. Space out the A button presses. Because if you just mash the A button like in the classic games, then Tails is going to get tired out really quickly. But if you space out when you press the A button, then he's not going to tire out really quickly. It's not going to feel like he randomly gets tired. So I never had any problems with the flight because I knew how I was supposed to do it. But it is a problem that a lot of people suffer from. It's unintuitive. But yeah, I just absolutely love the gimmick of this game. It really does help breathe life into it, make it feel fresh and new. Like, a lot of people complained that I really like that level gimmick, like the platforms coming in from the background, like the things that you spin dashed into to allow you to progress. They're straight on Marble Garden Zone. In general, this is just Marble Garden Zone mixed with Aquatic Ruin Zone. So it's not that original, aside from the darker, shadowy color palette. Like, it's called Sylvania Castle, like Transylvania, which is cool. But the cheery music doesn't really suit it. It says an X to boost Sonic. But the problem is that a lot of people didn't realize they could boost because they probably just mashed A through that tutorial text box. Because they just assumed, oh, I know how to play the game. Completely ignoring the blue X button prompt right there telling you that you could boost. The thing is, I had a difficult time with this special stage because I was boosting. Because if you move too fast to the special stages, then the rings pop up faster and you can really reliably, like, see, I missed all those rings! So you're better off not boosting until the 7th special stage, where all of a sudden they require you to use it. And that's one of the reasons why it's one of the hardest special stages in the game. It's really annoying that they reused the Sonic 2 half-pipe again, and with barely any changes. Like, the electrified orbs just slow you down, they don't actually take away your rings. And you have these springs sometimes that will send you onto higher floors. But that's really it. I think you can also side jump like in Sonic Rush, but whatever. The music is pretty annoying, especially the beginning part. At least you can pause and retry at the end of this if you screw up. But it's easy to lose count of how many rings you were expected to get and not realize you have to do that. So, but anyways, a lot of people complain that episode 1 is supposedly just a rehash, which is weird to me because like practically every 2D Sonic game is a rehash. Like in terms of the level aesthetics, there's only so many original ideas that they can have. Like the Game Gear games and the Advanced games and the Rush games, they all had level aesthetics that the classics had. So I don't know why they don't get called rehashes. I guess it's more obvious with Sonic 4 because it's only 4 zones. For some reason they bring back the boring, repetitive map music that episode 1 had. Don't know why that is. I like how they bring back that Sonic CD title card. I don't really like the idea that Metal Sonic was just... I don't like the idea that Eggman just forgot that his most powerful robot was on Little Planet. Also, this is a bad future. So, did Sonic not save all of the... Did he not get all of the time stones? Even though he needed to do that to make sure Little Planet would go away in the first place? This is just recycling Generations as assets. But it does create a plot hole. I like how Eggman is kind of silly in that he's like, oh, if I just shoot enough electricity in him, he'll just turn back on. It won't overload the circuits or anything. So yeah, like, he basically just forgot about him on Little Planet. I don't really buy that. But this is... Why is Toot Toot Sonic Warrior playing? This is supposed to be the bad guy. And they're making him sound like the hero. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I do like how it ties in with Sonic CD. So I don't know why some people try to claim that Sonic 4 isn't canon, other than just being spiteful. Like again, like they say that episode 1 isn't original as their primary complaint. And yet, most of the 2D Sonic games have also had rehash levels. It's just most obvious with Sonic 4 because it has only 4 zones. So you have, like, all of those zones being rehashes. They don't have enough zones to make an original one. I thought Lost Labyrinth Zone was pretty original as gimmicks, but... Yeah, so basically, Mad Gear Zone was entirely constructed to revive Metal Sonic. So, how did he revive him all the other times that he got broken? Like, did he have to create entire Mad Gears there? And that is pretty dickish. They start you out surrounded by slicers with 0 rings, but this takes the cake. This is the cheapest placed enemy in the entire franchise. He's guaranteed to hit you! Who thought that was a good idea? That's a great first impression. This is basically the same episode 1 levels, with the same physics even. Not sure how that's possible. Only they make it a bit more cheap in the enemy placement and stuff. But you only play Act 1 of the zones, so it's not really that big of a deal. The annoying thing is that Metal Sonic is just a Sonic clone. He doesn't control anything like... He doesn't change his gameplay or anything, so it's not really that interesting. Now, it makes sense because technically he literally is a Sonic clone. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was made from Sonic's DNA, because he has all the same abilities as Sonic. So it makes sense, like, especially considering his character development in Heroes with his sort of insecurity over being based on someone else, not having an identity of his own very much. Always being compared to Sonic. An inferiority complex. So that's probably why he's going through all these levels rather than just flying over them. Because he wants to beat Sonic at his own game. He wants to prove that he can do it too. That's dickish. There's some pretty tight platforming here thanks to these crushers. I could have sworn I landed on spikes and didn't get hurt there, but whatever. As for why the Badniks are attacking Metal Sonic, well, there's actually many different possible explanations for that. Maybe they're jealous, like, hey, it's Eggman's pet. It's the favorite. Let's get him. Maybe they're just jealous that he's the most powerful robot, or maybe he's asserting his dominance as the most powerful robot. Or again, maybe he's just proving that he's better than Sonic and trying to beat him at his own game. Or maybe the Badniks are just so mindless that they're programmed to attack anything that's remotely Sonic-like. Or anything at all. So they just think that he's Sonic. Or they're just too simple-minded to care about who exactly they're attacking. Like, there's plenty of explanations. It's not really that big of a deal. Hell, maybe Eggman sent him to fight the Badniks, not only to test if he was fully, like, repaired, but also to punish the Badniks because they failed him. They haven't beaten Sonic. Those bubbles used to be the most annoying enemies in Marble Garden Zone. And now they're just reduced to homing attack chains. I really like that though, because it's karma. And besides, they're spherical, so it looks visually, it makes sense for them to be homing attack chains, especially since they're so tiny. They don't take up much space on the already tiny screen. Like, even if you put it in widescreen, I doubt it would really help much. Thing is, I didn't want to put on too high of a resolution, because for all I knew that would make it hard to record. So, still love this game, still love that theme of Mad Gear Zone. Easily the best song in the game. Like, I didn't care for it much at first, but I really warmed up to it. But yeah, it is kind of just going through the same levels over and over. You go to Lost Labyrinth Zone, and then after that, you basically get this new power, and you'd think that would give you new gameplay, but no. Also, minor nitpick, I hate how they don't actually tell you what zone you're going into on, like the subtitle gives you a hint, but it just says episode metal. It doesn't say Lost Labyrinth. It's really annoying. I don't really get the point of them not doing that. Also, because it's kind of hard, because of the cheap ending placement stuff, also, I fell into that pit there. Like, there aren't any warning signs for the pits like there are in episode 2. So that can also be kind of hard. And there's no real way to grind for lives. So, you're pretty much stuck with the amount of lives that you have. It's basically Sonic Episode 4. Sonic 4 Episode 1, but harder. And I don't understand why there wasn't a proper lock-on mode with Sonic 4 Episode 1 too. Like, all you really get for owning both games is episode metal. That's it. You don't get the ability to play as Tails alone because the entire gameplay, the levels are designed around the co-op gimmick, so Tails has to have a partner. Like, you can't just play as one character. So you can't play as Tails. Like, the only way you can play as Tails is if you're the second player in the awkward co-op who can't homing attack. You can only fly and jump at enemies and use the tag actions. Like, it just sucks that it's not like Sonic 3 and Knuckles where you can play as Metal Sonic in, like, Episode 2 as well. And you don't have Episode 2 physics and controls in Episode 1's levels. It doesn't really feel like a proper lock-on. Like, with Sonic 3 Knuckles, you had Knuckles and Sonic 2 and stuff. Here, you don't even get that. It's just you replaying all of Episode 1 levels as Sonic Clone. Like, he's a really cool-looking Sonic Clone, although the wishing sounds that he makes when he jumps are kind of annoying. I think they're straight out of Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer. They aren't really that cheap when you have invincibility now, are they? I think it would have been more interesting if you went through Episode 1's levels from right to left, as well as the zone order being reversed. Because then it would have actually felt like you were traveling to Splash Hill Zone. But instead, it doesn't really make any sense because Metal Sonic is just going through the levels the same way, starting out left and ending at the rightmost part, and yet somehow he magically shows up in the next zone that's actually to the left. It's stupid. And why does it... Like, I answered that already, but why doesn't Metal Sonic just skip all of these levels and just... Especially Casino Street Zone, which is entirely pointless because there's no cutscene after it. It's literally just there. Like, at least after this, he gets a reward for going through this. Like, why doesn't he just fly, like, and skip all these levels? But of course, I already answered this, that he wants to beat Sonic at his own game. He wants to prove that he can do the same things that he can do going through levels. He's had such a inferiority complex from the devastating loss in Sonic CD that he really does want to make a comeback and prove that he can do what he can do. It's like an ego thing. Like, he had his ego crushed in Sonic CD. Like, he probably thought that he was definitely superior to him, and wouldn't even, like, if you said that he wasn't, he would be more confused, if anything. But now that Sonic has won against him, he's taking that idea seriously. They say Act 2, even though it's Act 1 of Lost Labyrinth. That extra life jingle might as well be a part of the result screen theme. I think you only get an extra life from getting 10,000 points rather than 15,000. So it's much, much easier to get an extra life at the results screen than in like Sonic 3 and Sonic 2. Not that I'm complaining. So he basically just found the evil energy from Mega Man 8. And I guess he used all of that energy up right now because you don't get any new abilities after this. Even though a lot of people thought that they would. So I guess he just used up all of that energy, and so now he has to recharge it, and that's why he's just playing through these levels like normal Sonic. That he wants to beat him in his own game. So that evil energy is supposed to be the explanation for why he can like throw giant energy spears at you when you fight him in episode 2. Not really much of an explanation now, is it? I mean, it literally just appears. There's no proper explanation for it at all. I think I would have preferred it much better if he just powered himself up with a Master Emerald. Or with even the Chaos Emerald. Why does this random purple energy... Why is this the random justification? I don't get it. It's stupid, I mean... Like, it just comes out of nowhere. Like, what is that purple energy anyways? Is it the time meter? Is it that purple energy from the Nega Wisps? From Colors? The mind control stuff? What is it? What is Sonic Team's obsession in the Colors era with purple energy? Not to mention, I think Dark Gaia is also associated with purple. Or black, I think. Takashi Iizuka, the leader of Sonic Team, wanted Sonic 4 to have a different feeling from the classic Sonic games. Like, a lot of people blame Dimps for Sonic 4 being so different. But it was literally the leader of Sonic Team that wanted it to feel different. Misaimed marketing much? Like, the thing about Iizuka is that he's kind of spacey, like, he has a lot of ideas, but he doesn't have any focus. He's not very good at focusing on stuff. Like, he's sort of all over the place, and Sonic Lost World is a perfect example of that. There's just a bunch of ideas that are thrown together, but it's not very polished. Like the parkour. So, I don't really think that Iizuka has been that great of a leader of Sonic Team, to be honest. Because he's just not very focused. He's also kind of like, he tends to have a response of, like, I'll look into it, and stuff like that. He's not really, he's more of a, like, PR spokesman. Not very genuine, I guess. It's like Sonic Team and Dimps co-developed Sonic 4. Because Dimps lost their rights to make original Sonic games after Sonic Rush Adventure. So, people are just blaming Dimps, and like... But anyways, like Sonic 4 is why everyone turned against Dimps, even though they had made nothing but great games up until that point. I mean, Sonic Rush Adventure had way too much padding, And Sonic Rush gave a horrible first playthrough. It's only when you learn the levels that you actually like it. But, like, they were doing great for the most part. I liked Advance 3 even. So, it just feels kind of weird. Like it's only after Sonic 4 that Dimps really started to, like, Generations 3DS. It's a good game, but there's only a few levels that I really want to go back to. It didn't entirely give me a good first playthrough. Of course, I played it. My first playthrough of it was before I had ever played Colors DS, or Generations HD, or any boost game for that matter, or even Rush. So it makes sense that I wasn't entirely used to it. So I kind of had trouble with the platforming. But yeah, it wasn't really until Lost World 3DS that Dimps really made a bad Sonic game. Like, a lot of people hate Advance 3 because it's the hardest in the Advance series. But, like, a lot of people also like it, so it can't really be that terrible. Like, the level design and enemy placement is sloppy, but it at least provides thrills. Well, to be honest, I've been spoiled by the boost gameplay at this point, so last time I tried to go back to it, I didn't entirely like it. Like, I only played Route 99. I didn't really feel like I was going fast enough with Knuckles. And it doesn't help that I've kind of gotten really sick of how 2D Sonic games have you trapped at the center of the camera. You can't really see what's ahead of you, so you're just moving around blind. I've kind of gotten tired of that by that point. So he just found a random Tails rocket that shouldn't really be there, and decided to fly to outer space rather than flying there himself, which he shows that he can do later on in episode 2. That's great. Like, he scares away the animals. I'm guessing he hid an animal capsule because he wanted to imitate Sonic. This is annoying. Why are they just, like, you can now play Episode Metal Act 4 and Episode Metal Act 3 even though you already beat it. It feels kind of clueless to me, that menu in that respect.